Also on this one, since we're talking about we're going to be dealing with politics right now. I can't see who's on yet. Um, but anyone that care to join the conversation through the control box, let me know so I can get you in there. Now, let me say this right off the top. Y'all need to have Google Hangouts downloaded either on your phone or either on your phone or um, on your computer. So, whatever you have, all right, whatever you have, hold on. Whatever you have, um, let's make sure that you have Hangouts and stuff downloaded, right? So, right now, I'm going to take the time to greet everybody. Geworden hardugu dag ola oi to the bang, was is los, bonjour mes amis, bonjour mes amis, kid, bawani, konnichiwa, ni hao ni ama, sani bonani, jambo habaragani, assalamu alaikum and shalom. All right. So as I'm getting some more of these notifications out, as I'm getting some more of these notifications out, um, let's see, Black Men's Travels. Um, there's a whole lot going on. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is even in Africa, I wanted to point this out. This is a popular DJ in Africa. All right, this is a popular DJ in Africa called King Kong. They keep putting RIP, so I'm assuming he's dead. Or he died. I don't know if he died, he was killed, or whatever. All right. But nevertheless, right? He looked like he met his demise, right? But I put this up because even with them, there was a picture on Facebook where a guy was trying to share with people beautiful African women, and he had 4 countries represented. The women he picked were all women that you are able to tell that there was some European that screwed somebody in their family. All right. So we're dealing with that, right? Put this in here. Um, and I have come to the conclusion. One of the conclusions that I have come to is that some of these females are just not going to get it And so we should leave their behinds behind. Point blank, leave them behind. Because they're not going to get it because they ain't trying to get it. Hola, Francisco. ¿Cómo va você? Tudo bem? Holy crap. Okay. Hola, Francisco. What's up, David Bowman? What's up, Taurus Johnson? What's up, you mad? Grow some hair. $3 assassin. What's up? Antonio Johnson. What's up? Hey, so as I'm putting this out, for those that would like to participate in the control room, y'all have to let me know. All right, because this is going to be a deep one on some deeper level, right? One, I'm gonna say this real quick. I never really understood the animus between Brazil and Argentina. Okay, so y'all remember the video I did about Argentina, right? I never really understood the animus between Brazil and Argentina. All right, and we're going to be discussing that because this is very important in politics. What's going on in Brazil's election has to do more with Brazil's people not knowing what the Brazilian people not knowing what to do. What's up, USMC vet? Semper Fi, man, Semper Fi. Has more to do with the Brazilian people not because they've been dealing with corruption for so long, right? And then we're going to talk about the video I did where you got the image of the black woman at an all-time low, especially once they leave the United States. So we're going to talk about all of that here. All right. And basically, so we're going to start with the image of the black woman, right? And we are going to deal with it in this way. We're going to deal with it in this way. Not only are we going to, hold on, I forgot to do one more thing, right? Not only are we going to not only are we going to deal with the black woman, okay, but we're dealing with the image. All right, and this is why the not all argument do not work. And I'm gonna explain this to you real quick. So anytime we're talking about what's going on in our community, and we are seeing things and how certain things and behavior affect the community as a whole, or the perception of the community as a whole, then nobody gives a hoot about the not all or whatever thing. All right, and here's the reason for that. Because at the end of the day, when nobody else can see anything else of you, all right, they go by what they know. All right. Now, let me explain something that is going on as far as the plight of men. All right. Let me break something down to you. When we deal with the plight of men, right, and how we are perceived by whatever good thing or stupid thing another guy is doing. Pretty much that's it. All right. And so people see us, especially when men do things as a group or um like more than one person, right? Hence, this is where a lot of your stereotypes come from. Now, let me say this. One of the reasons why people try to train you to not have stereotypes, because stereotyping is one of the ways that we use to get a general judgment about things and how they may affect us. Okay? So, what's up, Daniel? All right. So I want y'all to understand that a stereotype. All right, think about this. A stereotype gives us a general idea of how people are going to judge us. A stereotype gives you a general idea on how to make good judgment. All right, here's the thing. The stereotype and and basically until recently in the NBA, it used to be white men couldn't jump, right? So if you wanted to play a game of pickup basketball, most people would pick a black dude over the white guys because the stereotype that white men couldn't jump. It wasn't that white men couldn't jump. It was that it was a general way of explaining the athleticism of the Afro man versus the Caucasian man, right? They made a movie about it. Come to find out that in the movie, all right, Wesley Snipes and whatchamacallit, they were able to play people because of the stereotype that white men couldn't jump. Okay. And while he could not dunk the ball, it did not mean he wasn't going to be a good basketball player. All right. So when we get into this argument with Lonzo Ball, all right, the argument that people are having is, oh, he wasn't this because he ain't scored 50 points a game like everybody else did. But because of him, that people were getting scores. So if the combination of four people are scoring 140 plus points off of his passing, Woody Harrelson, thank you. What's up, Eli? All right, off of his passing, then I'm thinking he's having a pretty good game. All right. Now, here is some of the issues that we have, or here are some of the issues that we have. All right. We pretty much have people that don't understand that stereotyping gives people a real reference of what they're going to find in the population as a whole. And wow, the stereotype, which everybody understands, does not hold true for everybody within the population. It is a general indicator as to what you may find. Hence the picture that you see right here. All right. So the reason why I have this particular picture up, this is King Kong, and there's a video where, and I'm not going to play the video, but she's shaking her booty, and we see it all the time. Okay, hold on. I will show the video because it's on my other thing, right? All right, and so we see this repeatedly. All right, we see this repeatedly all the time. All right, And this has to be a problem. This is a problem. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Okay. Let me not pull it up real quick. Hold on. All right, so let's get to this real quick. All right, now I'm gonna show you the video. All right, so this is the so-called African diaspora. All right. Oh, before we get to that, again, let me say a great thank you and shout out to everybody. As you know, I'm teaching training the children and stuff like that. So y'all saw the other bags. I was able to get this bad boy right here for the youngsters. All right, this is bigger than most of them. So that bag is bigger than most of them. So I've been trying to train the boys and one girl, but that's my neighbor. All right, I've been trying to train the boys. All right. So one of the things we're going to do is put the names on the soccer balls. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And really the inspiration behind this particular video is a brother by the name of, let me grab him real quick. Lord of mercy. Zachariah. Brother by the name of Zachariah, right? All right, and he wanted me to talk about politics, but one of the things I started to realize is there's a lot going on within the politicking of everything, right? All right, so let's get to this video in question. All right, hope y'all can see it. I'm gonna turn off the music. Hold on, let me see. So I'll just do this, right? Now just pay attention. When haven't we ever not seen this? All right. When have we never not seen this? All right. It's like even in Africa, until they start to do the natural dances and stuff like that. All right. It's like for the black woman, this is all, whether she's in Africa or America, because they don't do that. They don't do it like this in Brazil. All right, they don't do it like this in Brazil. All right, so that's enough of this, right? They don't do it like this in Brazil. All right, hold on for a second. I'm missing something. Oh. I started picking some of these out. So I start sending some of those out. All right, so basically, this is the problem that we have. That right now is the current image of the black woman. I'm not going to call her Afro, but that's the current image of the black woman. Right there. All right. And this should be a problem for black women. But for some reason, it is not. All right. Now, what's going on is this. What's going on is this. The American black woman is now known overseas as the Porta Potty. All right. And let me break it down a little more. Let me break it down a little more. All right. These women that you see all over Instagram, you know, got the business all out there. All right. You know, them women, you just can't tell nothing. Because they the bomb, right? That they are the most desired. We already know that they're really not the most educated, but they feel like they're the it thing, and they're going across the world doing some really jacked up stuff, or people are having their way doing some jacked up stuff to them. All right, I want y'all to understand this. So they are going overseas. Hollywood's trying to prop them up with these. Oh, black women are going to Rome and they're going to find love, right? And what's really going on is they're not finding love. All right. And so while you got the simps and the thirsty dudes, all right, let's make this clear. While you got simps and thirsty dudes, talking about this is their black queen. All right, let's keep it real, right? They're talking about this is their black queen. What's really going on is your little black queen is getting done in by everybody, but they're not only being done in. People are doing all manner of wickedness to these women. They're doing all manner of wickedness to these women. So now the next time you go and see this on Instagram or whatever in somebody's beat up apartment, all right, think about this. I want you to look on the wall of the woman's apartment. She has something with look like the door is kind of busted down. No furniture or anything. She's clearly being run through by any thug that she could get a hold to, right? And they got all these pictures on here. But here's the weird thing. Here's the weird thing. These women are claiming they're going overseas. All right. And as they go overseas, right, they are treated in such a disparaging way, but they're okay with it. Here's the secret. Hold on, let me see who popped in. All right, what's up? $3 set. I said you might grow some hair. USMC back. What's up, young boy 20? Oh my. David Bowman. Hey, what's up, Marcel Gilliam? The all state fisherman. All right. Okay, so basically, y'all saw the shirt, right? Now, here's the issue. So now we got to look at these women. Hey, what's up, Guy King? Guy King brings up a good point. Okay. So as we talk about this, we got to understand this thing right here, right? So these are women that are putting themselves out like this, not looking to be wives of any decent men. Hey, what's up, Rowdy Benoit? Bonjour, mon ami. Okay, we are looking at a group of women that's down for anything, who one, don't care about the legacy that they leave for other women. Two, don't care about how this is going to be and look for their children and anything else. And the things, Porta Party. Let's talk about the nickname they have. Porta Potty. Uh, boom, boom, boom. Okay. What's up, digital distributors plus? All right. So when you look at this, right? I hope Zachariah can get up in here. All right. So when you look at this should be disturbing to everyone. This should be very, very disturbing to everyone that's looking at these females on Instagram and all of it, all the rest of this stuff, right? And even when you see them out in public, with all the weave, hence deliver us from weevil. And when you see all of this, right? And so now we have a serious problem as to potential mates that we can choose because of what these women have been doing, maybe in their spare time. The ones that got real popular and they always seem to be on a shopping spree in these foreign countries. Well, it's what they're allowing those people to do to them. And for shopping sprees. Oh, and they are lower, they are more affordable. The Black American woman is more affordable to those guys than the other women, than the African women, than the women of the other races. The Black American woman is cheaper. Oh, and because she has no moral compass, she is down for whatever. Now, she's been training herself to be that way because when she gets with the thug, Pookies, and Ray Rays, she's down for whatever with them. So now you have a problem. All right. Now, somebody said something else. They said that these women are weaponized against the movers and shakers of the Afro male community. All right. And what you all maybe do or do not understand is when we talk about weaponized, we are really, really talking about real weaponization. All right. And we're going to get into even some of the remarks. Okay. This came to me via the African diaspora. All right, and I'm gonna bring up something that Scribe was talking about too. with the abolishment of the 14th Amendment. And I kept telling you, we are not Africans in that we do not belong holistically as a community to the African diaspora. All right. That was one of the many tricks they played on us, because y'all have to remember the Afro people in the Americas were mainly indigenous to the land. We are the Aboriginal. All right. And this is really important for everybody to understand, because they are able to get clowns to keep on calling us people of Africa, which we were at some point. This is why DNA can track us back there. But if people were to look, I'm explaining how this worked before we get into. If people were to look at how DNA works and government works, so 23andMe, all these DNA people, right? Now, they classify, because the government already classified, that the only thing that's Indian is what would be Mongolian blood or Mongolian DNA. But now we know that's not true. All right. Because there's a bunch of white people that's Indian that have no Mongolian DNA, no Negroid DNA. They're pure European. But because they had $5 during the time of the Dawes roll, they got to be quote unquote Indians. Now, let's get into something else. Okay. Why they want us to claim African Americans so that we don't belong to either Africa or America. Right? When all these explorers came here, and if you take a geology class or a history class and you talk about the Americas, there was a mixed race of people that were already here before the white people got here. The only thing that wasn't here was white. Exactly, Anthony. The only people that weren't here were white, but the really, really dark black Afro people were here. The dark black people with straight hair was here. The Mongolians were here. And every mix in between were already here in South America, Middle America, and what we now call the United States. And let's not leave out Canada. All right. This is something that everybody knew and understood. Remember the video I did about jazz and the mulattoes, how the mulattoes lived with the white people in the white neighborhoods until the English or the United States, Thomas Jefferson, did the Louisiana Purchase, because Napoleon got his butt kicked in Haiti. And that cost him a lot of money, his army. Right? And this is why they are so evil towards, let me say it again, they are so evil towards the Haitians. All right, this is why they're so malicious when it comes to the Haitians. All right, because anybody that worked to get free of Caucasian people, they do not honor, they have no honor about how they deal with them. They then try to destroy them financially and separate them from the rest of the world. Period. That's what they do. And that's what happened to Haiti. All right. And we'll discuss a little more of this as we transition into the politics part, right? So what happened is, as we were talking about stories, a lot of the so-called Black Indians, but not Black Indians, a lot of the Indians that the United States would dare try to classify as African American, that are basically named their tribe type Indians. All right, a lot of them are telling the story as to what the United States government did. All right, now remember, I'm talking to you about my music class of how jazz got started and what they did to the mulattoes, right? And this is basically the MO of the United States. All right. And so I want y'all to understand this. What they did to the mulattoes was when Jefferson got the Louisiana Purchase, which was Louisiana, and it went straight up kind of along the Mississippi River, as we would call it, the Delta and stuff. When they got the Louisiana Purchase, they got it, and they had a purpose to eliminate black folks, right? But when they got the Louisiana Purchase, right? What happened is that the United States immediately took all the mulattoes and put them as black, whether they appeared to be phenotype, appeared to be black. If they had either a black mother, they were black. And remember, the French did not allow Afro men to talk to their Caucasian European French women. The mulattoes in New Orleans, until the time of the English, consisted of black women screwing the French and Spanish. And remember, the Spanish was down in New Orleans too. All right. French and Spanish men. The men took the children and gave them the European French and Spanish education because they considered their offspring their offspring. They weren't as high on the totem pole as the pure Caucasian, right? But they got deep education and they lived amongst the white people. The French had a separate house for the black women and a house for all his women. So the French men had a house for the Caucasian women. The concubine black woman might not have been as nice, but they were in the same vicinity. In other words, the black women never lived in a hood that was screwing the Caucasian man. Her children was not her children because the Caucasian men considered the children his children. All right, he gave them the Caucasian European education, and this you have the birth of jazz. All right, because they had the repertoire of songs and stuff like that, but the Afro people knew how to improvise on anything because we didn't need to read sheet music. We could commit something to memory and play it and then add our own thing to it because that's how we always done it. Right. And we'll get into something in a minute. Right. And so that's basically what happened. All right. So that's basically what happened. Now, one of the other things that you have happen. One of the other things that you have happen is the black women is starting to get big in her head. All right. The black woman is starting to get big in her head. The English came along after the Louisiana Purchase and knocked them down a whole lot of bit. Right. So this is what happened. So they get the Louisiana Purchase, right? They see all these women, different shades and stuff, all these children, different shades. And the United States is like, no, you're either white or you're black. All right. If you are a dark Indian, you're going to be black from now on. If you are the light Indians, we're going to call you Indians or natives or Native Americans. When the whole time the most Native American is the Afro man, because the Afro man, according to archaeology and science, was here tens of thousands of years before the Mongolian man, which we now call the red man. But both of us was here before the white man, who now calls himself an American. Think about that for a minute. It's like these same people that are so stupid that they say that the King James Bible is the only word of God when it's a translation of an original thing. It's not even original. It's a copy of the original, but they made the translated copy have more weight than the original scripts in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can't get no more whitewashed than that, and this is part of our problem. So then you have this, right? So big are Black women to be on the D of the Caucasian man, not because they see honor in the man, not because they see truth and honesty, but they saw that this dude used every trick in a book to manipulate his way to steal every bit of land from every indigenous people on every continent. And not only did he steal this land, but using disease, not warfare. Using disease, not warfare. Because they was losing. Even with their guns and stuff, they was losing. Well, what wiped out the Aztecs? Smallpox. What wiped out the Indians? Smallpox. The nastiness of the Caucasian people is what gave them the lands of the other people. They would come here, wait for the disease to take hold, then come back with the rest of the army and finish off the job that the bacteria did not. Because these were some nasty people that came over here. All right. And this is how they got the foothold. Now, when I kept saying that the reason why the Black woman, not to be confused with our sisters, but the reason why the Black women love them, because they have a propensity to love evil. This is why 80% of the Black women are only talking to 20% of the dudes that is going in and out of prison, that's coming in and out of jail. All right. If you want a Black woman in the Black community, in the hood, all you need to do is be selling some or have some or smoking some trees, the ganja. All right. That's it. And they down for you. They will rob for you. They will do any manner of evil. And if you try to help them out of what you think is a bad situation, they ain't trying to hear you. So you got to leave them alone. All right. And now things are getting worse for them. It's because these Instagram models that everybody's just gawking over, looking at, right? And they know this, right? They know this. That's why they're doing it. So they get all this attention. But as you're looking at these pictures, just keep this in mind. These might be some of them women that's going overseas, becoming a porta potty for the Arab and Caucasian men. Remember, they did a whole show and made a TV reality show about it, about women going to Italy to find love. They ain't looking for love. These women are straight up 304s. They're not looking for love. They have so much here that everybody thinks that they're entitled to just more other people's crap. Remember, how did the Caucasians get such a foothold in? They stabbed everybody in the back. They went to Africa, was dying. The black women took the men, married the men. Then the men turned on that whole community and took it over. What happened in the Americas? They came to the Americas. They were dying up north. The Indians, the Native Americans went, helped them make it through the winter. And in repayment, they stabbed them in the back. Well, let's not just say stab them in the back. They wiped them out, killed them off, and took their lands and everything. And now we call it a holiday, Thanksgiving. They went down to South America. Cortez, meeting with Montezuma. Well, Montezuma had his comeuppance due. All right. You can't keep being nasty to people and think they ain't going to want to do something about it when somebody gives them an opportunity. But he went up there, and after the hospitality, understand this, part of what happened with the Aztecs and stuff like that is Cortez could not control the greed of his men. All right. So his men kept trying to rape the women. They were so gold hungry and seeing all the riches, and they was just rambunctious. They were out of control, and they got tired of them not being able to behave themselves like men instead of children. And so that's when they start sacrificing Cortez's men in those ceremonies. Remember how I told you that the Aztecs saw Christianity kind of the same as their religion. You know, the blood sacrifice, the eating of the body and blood. You know, like people do at communion every first Sunday. All right. So this is where we are. All right. And so as we get into like the geopolitical arena, so as we get here in the geopolitical arena, another thing start popping up for me. One of the things is I really never really understood the animosity that Brazil had for Argentina. And now I'm saying if you are a dark person or a brown person, you should pretty much have animosity for the country of Argentina. And this is why, as we get into this, let me know that y'all can see this. All right. And I did the video on here, but I wanted to really talk about this as we transition to there's something to do with the porta potty mentality of the black woman, where they'll let anybody put anything in and on them, but they won't let a good Afro man put a seed in them. Okay. So so for the video that I did on this, this is information coming from an Argentinian doctor or physician. Okay. And as I stated before, she said on the deck of the ship, she kept going on how she loves black men and looks forward to traveling so she can meet them. All right. And I'm thinking that this is a Afro brother that she's talking to, because they were leaving from Florida to the Grand Cayman. Okay, and he didn't say football. He said on Argentina's team. So yeah, in his mind, he was thinking soccer, right? Because most people that are not Americans would have understood that this is a football team. And so that they would have said, how many people, there are no black people on the team's football team. And they wouldn't even be concerned about this. But he noticed this is because, well, as you know, France won the World Cup with a bunch of Africans. Go figure. All right. And they kind of won it easily. Hey, what's up, Smiley Man? Okay, they kind of won it easily, right? All right, so let's go through this real quick because this is very significant in this way. This is what's playing out now, and the linchpin in all of this is the black woman when we come to our community. All right, she said, he asked her, all right, because this would be an odd thing for an American man that if you have any black people anywhere, they're gonna be on some sports team at that level, right? But not in Argentina. So he asked, don't you have black people in Argentina? She said, with a matter of fact candor, no. A long time ago, after slavery, we killed them all. That's a quote. As y'all see, that's a quote. All right. They killed them all. What Argentina have now is people that came there after all of this, who really don't know how evil and wicked Argentina is. And this is why a lot of the Nazis and people who wanted to exterminate black people and Jewish people and all the rest of that from the world, this is why. Now, I told y'all before, when you acknowledge that you are a Hebrew, the Jewish people will call you, they'll say, oh, so you're the people of the book, right? Even in colleges and in school, the Jewish people, once they understand that you know who you are, for those of us that identify as Hebrew, they will, one, refer to us as children of the book, right? Meaning that we are the original people that practice what they kind of took for themselves and kind of corrupted. All right. So they understand that their Judaism or their Jewishism is not Judaism, but their Jewishism, that religion, comes from Afro people. Okay. And this goes out to the Moorish fools. The Moors were not a group of black people that was homogenous. Let me repeat that. The Moors were not a group of people that were homogenous. Let me break that down for you. Okay. What's up, Alan Adams? This is what I mean by the Moors were not a group of people that were homogenous. When you say Moors, you get Moors, right? And listen to these dudes up in New York that's kind of putting filth in everything. The Hebrew customs, the Moorish people, this, that, and the other. You got to understand this. You got to understand who the Moors were. All right. The last Moors got kicked out, got removed from Spain. Guess when? 1492. They were there for 750 years. Okay. And the people, they had Moorish wars to move them out. All right. And after Spain got rid of the Moors, they ended up trying to expand, but they lost all their territories that they ever had by 1840. Okay, so let me explain who the Moors are. The Moors were a conglomerate of a whole bunch of Afro peoples. Okay, hey, what's up, Zachariah? This is a shout out to you. This is the lead into the politics that you want. But to understand the politics, I want to just review world history. So the Moors, okay, understand this. The Moors were a conglomerate of Afro peoples. The Moors consisted of Muslims, wait a minute, Hebrews, Arabs, and other North African tribes. All of them got classified as Moors. That is how the Hebrew system of belief made it up into the Soviet Union, or as we know it now, Russia and Germany. All right. What people don't understand is that when we talk about Jews or Jewry, we're talking primarily of Russians who then moved out into Germany and all the other parts of Europe. But the Moorish people took that faith up there, as well as Islam, which is in Russia. So, in Russia, your three major religions in Russia. You got even Buddhists are there because of China, right? So Russia has a lot of the religions on there, right? So let me break something else down to you that might surprise you. So you got the Islam that's in Russia, you got Orthodox, or what we would call the Greek Christianity, and you have, and now they say Jewish because of the jewelry. The Jews dealt with jewelry. So the religion of the jewelry dealing people, which now we refer to as Jewish. All right. So they took from it, and they got their religion from the Hebrews. So the Afro people spread Greek. The Romans spread. Well, the Romans didn't even spread Greek Orthodox, but you got Greek Orthodox, or the Orthodox. You got the Hebrews, which now is called Judaism, from Jewish people, which are white people that took on the beliefs of those Moors that were Hebrews, and you got Islam, right? Now, when the Soviet Union took over under Lenin, all right, and Stalin, when they took over, the first thing they did was shut down religion. They shut down mainly the Buddhists and the Christian religion. Do you know who got to flourish there? Well, the Hebrews, or the Jewish people that took the Hebrew religion, because the Hebrew religion, it doesn't need a synagogue or anything, although they start making them, right? The Buddhist people, they were okay, they was cool. We don't need a Buddhist anything, that's like a personal thing. But the Muslim people were able to keep many of their mosques, so long as they stuck with and did not go against the Soviet Union's programs. Understand this. Find that quite interesting. So now we get into this, and the things that's going on, and then you get down to all these people, the Spanish that went to Argentina. All right. Now, let me tell you something about Argentina. I'm gonna let the lady tell you. All right, if you go and look down in the paragraph where it says very bad, so you'll see a bunch of, like, I asked her, she smiled back and continued, right? All right, so you said, and then you have a big body of writing right here that starts with very bad, right? She said, I'm ashamed of my people. It was very systematic. It's systematic, though. Very well thought out. First, they forced most of the men to fight for Argentina against Paraguay. They knowingly sent them into battles that they were poorly planned so that the Paraguay army would do for them what they could not do for themselves. Kill the blacks. Most of them died there. The many of them were forced to live in the province where there was a plague. All right, so they say a province. When you have somebody live in a place and you send a disease in there, that's a concentration camp. A disease that the government refused to curb so that it can do for them what they couldn't do, kill the blacks. They refused to set up hospital clinics, adequate. Wait a minute. What? This sounds like something. Sounds like something in a place somewhere in Mississippi. Don't this sound like the Tuskegee experiments, y'all? Remember how they gave the black man syphilis and they wouldn't treat it to see how long it took to kill him as he's writhing in pain? All right. It killed the rest of the men that had not survived the war. I want y'all to understand something. They sent the men to war to be killed off. Then they killed the rest of the men. Why didn't they kill the woman? The darker you are, the higher the chance they would send you to live in that place or die in the war. The women slept with the white men, the Spaniards. So the women, let's call them who they are, the Europeans, right? Let's call them who they are. So the women slept with the Spaniards. You know, the 50% in Mexico that's racist. Remember, 50% identify as white, 50% identify as black. All right, or brown. All right, so the darker you are, the higher chance that they will send you to the place, right? The light-skinned women, they slept with the white men. Let's call these white men who they are, the Spanish, until they produced children that were biracial. And then they got rid of the phenotype so that these children would present as Caucasian. Wait a minute. What did I say about when you get rid of the Afro men and only the men puts the seed in? Oh, Tuskegee, Alabama. Thank you, Charles. What did I say about the seed? It's always been about the seed. That's why they killed off the men and then killed off the women. They slept with the women because they understood that if the white men kept putting the seed in a woman, that sooner or later, not only would the genotype be Caucasian, but the phenotype would be Caucasian. Or I could say it the other way, not only would the phenotype be Caucasian, but the genotype will become Caucasian. All right, and you done get rid of the significance of the black woman. So in this time, that's how you get rid of Afro people. All right, and it's something that black women in the United States do not understand. You ain't nothing but a pawn. These black women in the United States do not understand they're nothing but a pawn. You need the man to continue the community. And it's preferable that you continue the community through the Afro woman. But the same thing would happen if the Afro man got with the Caucasian woman, and then she and her offspring only talk to Afro men. Then sooner or later, you replace the Afro community, both genotype and phenotype. And because Caucasian are double recessive, meaning to be right, you're double recessive. You don't have the ability to give anybody melanin. And we're double dominant, right? The Afro man is double dominant. So that means that we would bring back our community. It's easier to do with the Afro woman, but we don't need them. But we do, if you know what I mean. It's like they're plan A, right? But if they don't want to be plan A for them, then we don't need them. We would have to take a longer time to get the community back by using any means necessary. Hey, what's up, CEO Yard? Yeah, all right. So this is basically it. So now, as we're reading this, so now we understand the attack. Then, baptized a scribe or tetragrammaton, he just finished off a video about them getting rid of the 14th Amendment because of the immigration situation, right? And they're tired of anchor babies. All right. Well, here's the thing, and somebody's been saying this for a while. If people who are native here, that science says that they were here 10,000 years before anybody else, there's big stones with black people in South America. Okay. If we are native here, how is it that we let them sucker us into calling ourselves African Americans when the African says, yo, you don't belong over here, but we get you? At one point in history, like way back, tens of thousands of years ago. Yeah, maybe. All right. We have no community identity there. But the Native Americans, the Cherokee, who else was it at the thing? The Seminole, some of the Apache, they understand that we are natives of this land. All right. So how is it that we let somebody, Jesse Jackson, con us into thinking that and all the people that they put in place, like Garvey, all the people that they let mess with, think about it. Dudes was getting lynched and hung for messing with white women, but Garvey could do it. And then Garvey had this back to Africa stuff. Remember, they're thinking long term. Remember how I said they were able to take people over? You know, they come in as their friend and then stab them in the back. And that's what they did to us. They knew that we were here. As a matter of fact, the first two census, the first three census classified us not as African Americans, not as blacks, not as Negroes, a nigga, not as any of that. We were called free range Indians. Oh, y'all better understand. We were called free range Indians. The first three census, we were called free range Indians. So now they're appointing people in the Supreme Court, right? Now I told y'all also, like me, I am a Hebrew. I read the commandments and go by that. And the commandment says that I don't need a king to tell me what I need to do. I don't need their system. I know how to live and be in harmony with the land. Caucasians don't. The military, ironically, do because you need to. But the rest of the United States don't. And they got many black people, I'll call them that, with their heads in their behinds that are trying so hard to be like the people that's messing everything up. So how do we treat politics? Right? And so they were talking about the 14th Amendment. And no matter what side of the fence you're on, as far as this politics stuff, because the government belongs to them with the rules that belongs to them, you would never have power because it's never going to be run by you. Even if you're black and become president. The president don't run SH. The Congress do. The senators run it more than anybody, right? And the leadership in the House run it, has the same amount of power. Yep, there it is, sending the missionaries. They have the same amount of power as the Senate, but only the leadership in the House. All right. And so if you can buy a senator, you could probably get some stuff done. Now we get into the thing of politics. And y'all need to stop looking at politics as far as the United States. All right. You need to start looking at politics on a totally global level. Okay. And look at Tetragrammaton Lions video. Black People Warning Part 2. All right. So basically, so we get into this thing with when did I see this video? With Brazil, with everything. All right. We get into dudes in this religion that don't understand crap. We get into the expansion of China everywhere. And then we get into this, the biggest corruption scandal in Latin America. Why is this important? Again, we are looking at we're looking at what's going on. Petrobras. All right. Petrobras is Petro Brazil. All right. So what's happening down there is going to affect us here in a way that you may not know. So in Petrobras, what's happening in Brazil, you had the biggest corruption scandal in Brazil. How big was the corruption scandal in Brazil? That this corruption scandal was taking out most of South America. What was the scandal? All right. So what happened was Petrobras was going to build a gas project, right? And it fell through on the 2015 after the police fell upon a laundering scheme with one of the drug dealers in Brazil. All right. Now, there was a cartel, but the cartel was the greedy Caucasian people that owned the businesses that was supposed to compete for contracts. Now, why is this going to sound familiar? Okay. Why is this going to be familiar? Because with Petrobras, what they were trying to do is eliminate having to compete so that they can take most of the people's tax money. Wait a minute, where did we see that? Did you ever notice how all the gas prices are the same no matter which store you go to? They are exactly the same. They might be a penny off, right? but they're not allowed to compete. When Jordans come out, every store sells the Jordans for the same price. The stores are not allowed to compete. So Brazil is not the only people doing this. Hey, Bertha. Yes, that is true. Bertha Hutt, you are absolutely true. That is absolutely the truth. And part of that is because we were in this country, we're taught not to honor any man, any Afro man, no matter where he rises to. Think about it. Michelle Obama said that as a single mother. And last we was checking, she ain't a single mother. But that's what she said, as a single mother. And the white lady had to remind her, excuse me, ma'am, you are not a single mother. All right. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. Even on the biracial tip, a lot of that stuff is starting to change. All right. A lot of that stuff is going to change for this reason. The Afro man is starting to get a second look and a third and fourth look too. All right. And one of the reasons for this is that our prowess and our creativity cannot be denied. Our strength and versatility also cannot be denied. All right. And all this is happening outside of the United States. Y'all understand? Outside of the United States. So the Afro man is, we've understood that we can do exactly what the Caucasian person is doing. We don't have to stay and be stuck in this country and only choose from the women that's in this country. Although that's what the people here, the powers that be, would want to happen, right? If we take our money and stuff and go south, we can make a dent there. All right. So back to Petrobras. All right. So what happened was the government doing this thing called Operation Car Wash. All right, and this is coming from a dude named Boss Atlas. He did a great video on this to watch. He says the biggest corruption scandal in Latin America history. Here, let me put the link to it. All right. So what was going on? And this is the thing that got Delma Rousseff. Who else did it? I mean, it's getting all Brazil's leadership are tied up in this. Is because the government was in bed to launder money with these companies that were supposed to compete. But what did I keep telling you about Caucasian people? They never play anything right or fair or with honor. They always change the rules to give them an unfair advantage over everybody, even if it means hurting everyone. Now, what happened with this drug dealer is they was going to give him some time off or whatever if he explained how this money thing came about, right? And he told his lawyer that if he explained or if he told, it will take down the whole government. This started in Rio de Janeiro, which used to be the capital. But then they moved the capital to Brasilia to get more people to move there. All right. So what's going on is that they were supposed to have some refineries and gas, right? So the government is in bed with the business companies. Wait a minute, that sounds familiar. When I say the government is in bed with the business companies, that sounds like somebody I know. Oh, the U.S. Republican or Democrat, the government is in bed with the business company. Remember, the Supreme Court says the business multi-billion-dollar companies are people too. That's the most ludicrous thing. Oh, well, let me stop. Because while we saying that that's ludicrous, that's what they're doing. All right. Now, so you got this, right? And this thing in March 2014 start to take down everybody. All right. And the dude's name was Alberto Yosef. And that's who was caught. And he was like, if I tell you what's going on, it's going to take down democracy. All right. And so now we're getting into our politics too. Take down democracy. How are you going to take down democracy? Well, let me explain to you how you take down democracy. Well, you can't take down something that really does not exist. And that's where I'm getting here. That real democracy does not exist. One, because it shouldn't. So they tried to be a republic, right? But even this, right? The Petro Brazil became a cartel along with the government and the politicians. All right. And the government was getting bribes, sending bribes to Petrobras, who was who was laundering the money for the companies. All right. And so a billionaire, and they put him in jail. You got Dilma Rousseff. All right. And we understood her. She was like a left leaning. You got Paulo, who else? Paulo Robert Costas, Roberto Costas, right? He was the head of the refinery. You got Renato Duque Pedro. He was the director, right? But more important than that, okay, more important than that, you were able to take down democracy. All right, because in Brazil, they understand that you just can't trust democracy. Wait a minute. Now you start to understand where Bolsonaro and this thing comes from, right? And why people want the far right leaning Trump like guy, right? So you have Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, right? He was the ex-president, so he got caught up in it. You understand? He's in prison. Dilma Rousseff, right? She was impeached. Y'all remember that? We talked about that on this channel, like last year. And then the current president, Michael Timmer, I might need to remember that for my test coming up next week. All right. And so now you got people that want Bolsonaro, no matter how racist people try to say he is, because you got the same thing going on with him as people were feeling with Trump. And remember, more black people voted for Trump than you understand. All right, because we realize it's time to be tired of the Democrats. The Democrats have been destroying our community and literally killing us off, literally through abortion and all the rest of these things. All right, remember, all your racist, the very, very worst of your racist groups came from out of the Democrats. And then they went to the Republicans after the Democrats jumped on ship and did what the Republicans used to do. At one point, the Republicans and the Democrats did not like Afro peoples, and what the Republicans just didn't want us to be around, and the Democrats wanted to do something about it. All right, and so now now you're getting into our elections, where for us it's pick your poison or don't bother with it. Right? If we were ever together as a community, we wouldn't need them. Let me ask you this question. They got a Chinatown everywhere. How many Chinese are marching in the street for politics in these Chinatowns that are not forced to in college? Think about that for a second. How many Chinese do you see marching in the streets like you see black women marching in the streets talking about, oh, we marching for you? No, you're not. You're marching to be seen. You're marching to get on the news so that you can say, oh, did you see me on the news? Oh, we had your back after the dude is dead. How you got somebody's back marching after he's dead? But here's the question. How many Chinese, let me tell you something. If you go to Houston, the city of Houston, there is a Chinatown with street signs that are written in Chinese and English. You heard? Hold on, wait. So y'all can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. In Chinatown, in Houston, the street signs are in Chinese and English. Chinese and English. They came to the United States and they're able to get street signs written in Chinese and English. This is why I say, as Afro men, we look for a sister first. Always look for a sister first. But I was not finding any. But at the end of the day, we got to make some children somewhere where we can raise them. Period. And we can raise them with our values. And we're talking about our yesteryear values. Not this new wave thinking and stuff like that. Well, you don't know if you're a girl or a boy. We're going to keep you confused until you make up your own mind. Even though the boy made his mind up when he understood that he don't look like his mom or his sister. All right. And that's basically it. Um, One more thing on your comment, Bertha. In many places where the dude is black and the mother is white, if they are raised in the Afro community, and this is what I'm saying, or with Afro community's values, those girls tend to turn out and end up with a an Afro man. Period. All right. The only time that doesn't happen is when the black man leaves the community like the black woman leaves the black woman automatically leaves the community because she's married to the white man. The white man is now her head. I don't care what anybody says. That she made that choice, so that's his wife now. He is her head, so she's not a part of us. We shouldn't mess with her or anything. All right. But the Afro man, he determines where he lives, right? Now, if he decides to try to live as the Caucasian, then yes, those children are going to get with Caucasian. But if he lives as a brother, then those children are going to get with the best thing for them. But trust me, they'll know how to pick. And it ain't going to be about a big butt either. All right. And so that's basically it. It depends on the community. Now, if the community, the Afro community, gives no man a reason to be there, all right, then we're going to be destroyed. And here's the thing: this is something I have settled to, that we're just going to have to be destroyed. If we can't get it together, we deserve to be destroyed. See, this has always been my contention. I'll keep sounding the alarm. But if people decide that they don't want to listen to me, if people don't want to get together, if we can't communicate with one another, then we need to be destroyed. You understand? We need to be destroyed because we ain't doing right by each other. All right. One of the dumbest things is these dudes see that I'm doing some stuff, right? And so then instead of help me do what I do, they be like, brother, you know what? You need, I like the way you think. Man, you doing some stuff. We need to do a business together. Shoot, man, you could buy all the equipment and stuff like that. And you could do all the ideas and think of how everything is supposed to go. And then we could do this. And then what they mean by we is then they want to be in charge. How do you know they want to be in charge? Is because when you tell them how stuff is supposed to go, they don't want to listen to you because they think they know more than you, even though they just paid you a compliment saying that you pretty much know more than them. All right. So I don't know what to say when the only way that you can talk to the average black woman is if you smoking that yay, right? You can't build nothing with the average dudes is because no matter how smart you are, they are going to try to overshadow you. You understand? It is really difficult to do things with the so-called black people. All right, it's really difficult. And the reason, oh yeah, man. Yeah, they did that, man. Showed up to give me a thumbs down. All right, but understand this. Two brothers are going with me to Brazil. Right. But this is why we talk about the black man having the dominant gene. All right. The black men have the dominant genes, right? That if you look at the Ball family, we was talking about the Lakers. If you look at the Ball family, all right, if you look at the Ball family, they are who their father is, right? But they pick based on who the society is. And right now, at the end of the day, right? You think any of them balls with the money they're making is going to pick a black woman? Think about that for a minute. I mean, they're in their right mind, but think about that. The Chinese are able to maintain their culture. They're able to start businesses, right? They're able to do a lot of things. Do you know why and how they're doing it? Because even when the Chinese marry a black dude or whatever, right? It's all about family. They understand that everything is about family. We do not have enough Afro families led by the man. Oh, one, and the Chinese family is heavily patriarch. That's why if the United States keeps slipping with all this space stuff, that's who's going to take it over. Like I said, in Houston, all the street signs are already in Chinese. All right. And so, Bertha, when you really look at it, right? I've asked to speak to a lot of people that haven't replied back for whatever reason. It's even hard to make friends with Afro people. All right, and it's harder for me. Let me be honest. Now I got some brothers over here that we're going to be going to Brazil, right? But let me be honest. Because I don't drink, get high, or smoke, I have a problem making friends in the Afro community. Because I like to play music, I have a problem making friends in the Afro community, in the black community. Let me tell you something else. Even if I make some friends in the immediate area, they will have some idea. They see what I'm doing. They see how effective the stuff is that I'm doing. And then they will want me to leave my support. That would be y'all, like Bertha, Elijah, Daniel, Anthony. All right. Some of you guys are new, right? Zachariah, all of y'all. This is my support thing. This is who helps me do what I do. Right? So they say they would want me to stop and then join them on something that they have in their head that they didn't even start yet. So I was at one of these meetings in Houston, and one of this lady that was super feminist asked me, yeah, and so if you stop doing what you're doing, because this was her play to make me join what they're doing. And one, I would never join it because she was on it. So I would not put my finances in and give my will and my effort to something that primarily catered to women. Basically, I said it don't look like you're doing enough for the brothers that's out here. All these programs, the women get people making programs for them every day. And then she was talking about there's too many women going to jail, right? Because they're doing some wicked stuff. That's where they need to be going, right? And so I was like, no, I wouldn't be a part of anything this woman is a part of. But she asked this. Yep, I'm playing. Yep, sure is. That's the truth, right? But she asked me this. She asked this, and the dude that was running the thing asked this. No, you need to do. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all doing all this stuff on your own. right? I said I had a channel. I had people on my channel that's helping me, right? That donate to me. I mean, I do all the physical work myself because ain't nobody here to help me. Everybody lives somewhere else. But people are donating, people are listening, people are encouraging. Hell, people in their comments are giving me ideas for other videos. And I don't mean just, hey, do a video on this. I mean the stuff that they say is so impactful that I have to do a video featuring what they said. Like Torrance Johnson, Dwight Hayes. All right. Now, when we go back and look at something, all right, when we go back and look at something, all right, if we go back and look at some things, right? We as we as Afro men are taught they have us trained to worship anything that is going to destroy us. The best way for us to make businesses is not for me to join with another dude, right? But instead of these women going off to outside of the United States or being with only 20% of the thugs, they need to be wives to men that's trying to do something that if that men had the children, that children might turn out to be something because of everything that the guy knows how to do and the moral compass that the guy has. But no, they would rather go off and be porta potties to the Caucasians and the Arabs. All right. Oh, let me say this before I say, hey, Bertha, hit me up, send me an email. I need to talk to you. If you can, send me an email and your number, and I hope you got what I sent you. Let me know if you got what I sent you. All right. And let's see, you're lying. I'll catch you in Georgia. And before I forget, I'm gonna need you to carry some of these balls to these soccer balls to Brazil. Okay. All right. So okay. So let me say this right. And so these women, right, instead of wanting to be wives, right, they are part of the problem, and they know they are. That's what I'm saying. All right. And to give themselves an out, they tell themselves, they're always telling themselves that it is always the fault of the lame because we won't take care of her and her 5 children she had from the thug. Right. But here's the thing, those children, and I know this personally, y'all know I know it so well. All right. The man, hold on. Let me do something real quick. Because I need some more I need some other people's addresses. All right. Hey Zachariah, on my Refuge Temple Navi email, which is in the description box of my videos, send me your address. All right. So let me say this. So with these women, right, we can never build anything. We can never build anything. Understand this. We can never build anything if we are not able to build a family first. Y'all understand this? We can never build anything until we are able to build a family first. And it's almost impossible to build a family with the current crop of Black women. So it's like we will have to go, hold on. We would have to find either somebody coming from certain countries in Africa. Man, scribe, I hope you're listening. If you're listening, send me your phone number and the address. I got your phone number, but send your address. Okay, let's see who else. Yeah, Zachariah, Ricardo Boone. Send me your address whenever you get this message. And Eric Linson. Hey, Clinton Cole. Gregory Nayan. I got Ricardo. All right, I need addresses from all of y'all. I got some stuff. So I'm trying to send these t-shirts, you know. Oh Lord, deliver us from evil. Hey, what's up, Matt Turner? Okay, so hold on for a second. All right, so basically, no family, no businesses. Most businesses start from the family first, and then they grow. Then the businesses grow as a result of the family. But we have no families. And the reason why the businesses start with families is because who's there to shop at the businesses? The business is supposed to cater to the needs of the community. If you don't have a community, or the only thing that could, oh, let me say this. First, let me show everybody the shirt I'm gonna send out. So y'all let me know if y'all want the shirt. All right. So this is the shirt. Lord, oh Lord, deliver us from evil. All right, so all right, here's the thing. Now this is why family is the most important thing about starting a business. All right, this is why. that the family is the cornerstone of all businesses. Okay? The family is the cornerstone of all businesses. It's the reason why you start the business, it's who you start the business with. All right? And since we don't have a community, all right, and it's because the community has brainwashed to not do anything that any brother come up with. Since we don't have that as a community, all right, then everything is doomed to fail for us because the our business plan for other communities, it has to play on placating other communities. Y'all know what the biggest family owned business is in the black community? It's the women like this that got their little pookies and ray rays running stuff out their house. But and in the community, it's cool too. Hey, what's up, Black City man, Master? In the community, they cool with it. Why are they cool with it in the community? Because that's what everybody is doing in the community. No matter what community I live in, that's an apartment complex, no matter how upscale, downscale, or whatever. Because the front lines are so blurred, and because all you need is a few females that can get in with Section 8 and stuff, you're going to have the Pookies and Ray Rays and everybody else trying to make a buck, running stuff all up in and out of communities. Like I say, I see plenty of times, and I know plenty of situations where the women never wanted to build a family for their children. They just like thugs and sugar daddies, right? So people that's business minded cannot build a business with the black woman. All right. Now, am I saying it's impossible? No. What I'm saying is it's so difficult that it isn't worth looking. All right. Everybody is living in the wrong place. You got a few people that aren't, but we are so scattered that even amongst ourselves, it's hard to build a business or anything that we all like, where we would be able to come together and get what we need while getting somebody the money. The other thing is most black people want to build a business to get rich like white people. And we've got that poisonous mentality in our head. Do you know who the most successful group of conquerors, quote unquote, was in the Americas? All right. And let's say you have the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, and the North American natives. Of those, and I'll just pause for a minute, which one of those do you think were the most successful? All right. Which of those do you think was the most successful out of the Aztecs, the Mayans, the North American Native Americans, the Incas, and the Olmecs? All right. Which one do you think were the most successful? All right. It would be great if we could dedicate strong focus on credit building. Well, we talk about credit when digital distributors plus. I have a couple videos up, even showing my own credit. right? Here's the problem with that. Somebody broke into my credit cards. But because I have security on them, I wasn't really hurt by it. Okay, we got one for the Indians, the North American Indians. We got one for they usually don't have furniture. They're sleeping on the mattress on the floor along with their children. Incas, Incas would not be Brazil. Okay. Um, and I'll explain that in a minute. Right. And Elia, he teaches cryptocurrency. On this channel, I teach people about credit. All right. A lot. And if you would like to add something to that digital distributors, we could do another video too. Oh, sorry about that. Probably because I got something in front of my speaker. How's that sound? Okay. So we had somebody say North American Indians, the Aztecs. Um, so nobody for the Inca. I mean, nobody. We had Incas, Aztecs, North American. Nobody for the Mayans or the Olmecs. Okay. So somebody had one of the answers right. Okay. And that would go to 69 footprint. It was the Incas. Now, the Incas are not in the Brazil. Incas was on the east side, and let me tell you a little about them. Okay. And then we can apply what the Incas did to us for us. Okay. The mentality. We would have to do things differently, but the mentality of the Incas, right? It was the Incas. The Aztecs, they built a lot of stuff, right? And we know them because of all the pyramids that they took over probably from the Olmecs. So they didn't build all the pyramids, but they built more, after the fact, right? The Incas, what they did was they conquered more territory than anybody, and they did it in a weird way. You know how people expand wide, right? They expanded, or horizontally, they expanded kind of vertically up the map. Okay, so they had all of Chile to Argentina. Hold on, let me see what they had. Okay, I had to go look at my map because so they had from Chile to Peru to Ecuador to Colombia. All right, Chile, Peru, Ecuador to Colombia, and they were as wide. It was like a big rectangle. They had parts of Bolivia and Argentina in their territory. All right. Now let me explain something about them. This is why this is what makes them so significant. One is how they farm. They were able to use all parts of the mountain area. Okay. They were able to use all parts of the mountain area, and they were able to plant in a mountain in near desert kind of area. All right, so that's some SH right there. All right. I don't know who won something, but they got fireworks going off out there. All right, so here we go. We got. I wish they would. Why would people wait till 12 o'clock at night to be doing this stuff? That don't make no kind of sense. Okay, so they got Argentina, part of Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, right? Now, what made them so significant was how they built their empire. Now, the thing about the Incas was this, that they started with Chauvin. They went down to almost to Lake Titicaca, right? And they increased their territory like that. And it was along the Andes Mountain. How they did it was this. And this is something white people cannot understand, because it is beyond them to understand how somebody could share, right? But how they did it was this. And if it wasn't for their worship of the dead, they would have been great. All right. What happened was that the Incas they didn't use money or written language. They had language, and they were able to spread a message like 380 miles in a day by foot. Black faith master. We didn't teach them what they know. We were them. Y'all are understanding. When the Europeans got to Central, North America, South America, they saw us mixed in with the Mongolians. Afro, as we say, kinky-haired people, straight-haired people, they saw a variety of browns. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And what the Incas did was they shared. Dang, really? Hold on, let me see something. How do I sound now? How do I sound now? Dang. Hold on, wait a minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, da, 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 da. Okay. All right, let me make sure my stuff is turned up. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm just clicking stuff now. Oh, dang. That went weird. Hold on for a second. All right, there we go. All right, do I sound better now? Okay. All right, and so when you look at this, right, they had no written language. They had no money. They did not use any form of currency. All right. With their military, they had no tax system. Do you know what their tax system was? Your labor. All right. Hold on. This is how the system worked, right? Your labor was the tax. So, whatever period of time that the government needs you to do something for the betterment of the community, all right, everybody just used their labor. That was the tax system. You didn't buy clothes. There was clothes, let's say housing places, clothing stores where you got your clothes from. Material or clothing was the most important thing of that time. They stored their weapons along the area within 20 something apart, right? And so if something jumped off, they were always near their weapons. They could run to the storage, grab what they need to do, and quickly build up an army of tens of thousands. The people, yep, they created resources, they shared the resource, and they shared the labor. And they became the most powerful. Well, let's make not the maybe not as powerful. Well, no, let's say powerful, but they became the most expansive group of people, definitely in the South Americas, and they rivaled the Romans in what they did. They were able to feed everybody because they shared everything. And so, because the labor was your tax, right? It was like, hey man, I'm gonna go help so and so build something. So it's like how we used to be as neighbors when you live by some Afro people, right? We used to help each other with stuff. We didn't need U-Haul. We didn't need nothing. We did not need anything. We didn't have to. Back in the day, we didn't need to spend money on anything. Um, all you had to do was pull up with a moving truck. They were so amazed that they destroyed them. They were amazed by what we were doing in Africa and then destroyed it. They was amazed by what we were doing here, then destroyed it. And what people don't understand is because the Europeans separated everybody based on color because it's easy. And one of the reasons why they dismissed the darker colors because the darker colors did not look like them. So they wanted to keep the people that looked closest to them around them. They understood that the darkness was, and even though they're not going to teach it, they also know that the person that's spreading this knowledge to everybody else was the darkness. All right, hold on for a hot second. right, y'all, I'm back. All right. All right. And the thing is, so basically, what's happening now in the United States is we used to be able to recuperate as fast as the Caucasians could destroy a community because we was led mainly by men. As men, we are more sharing than women are. We are more helpful to one another than women are. And that's naturally so because most of the help we need is pretty much physical. All right. So back in the day, you used to be able to just show up with a truck and not worry about how your stuff was going to get up the street because everybody and all you needed to have beer was beer, Kool-Aid, whatever. And the brothers in the neighborhood used to help people move in. All right. You just don't get that anymore. Right. When I was talking to you about music class, about the origin of all of this music that we listen to and how it is so far from its origins is ridiculous. Now we're the only ones that's solo, whereas all the white people they're the ones in groups, rock and roll groups and stuff like that. All of our artists are solo artists, and white people still have bands. And we don't care. We shouldn't care who's selling what and about stacking paper because that's how they get us to destroy ourselves. We're so much worried about stacking paper that we forget that we should be like the Mayans who were partially us, partially the Mongolians, and partially a mixed group of people. As a matter of fact, the natives of South America were the most diverse group of people that the Caucasians ever saw when they got here. Bet you didn't know that. Okay. Now, so basically, we live in a society where people is so head is so clouded with pot smoke, all right, that they're not thinking about anything else, right? And really, they don't need to is because we thinking with the wrong head anyway. And since since these women, like you see pictured here, fulfill that need for those that want to stay inebriated and clouded up with judgment and stuff like that. All right, they don't have a problem with it. These guys don't care where they've been and how much that these other men have been defecating on them. All right. We don't care about what they've been allowing other people to do to their bodies. And they don't care. You know why they don't care? Because some simp, all right, even after becoming aware, is not going to care because he see a big butt. All right. And that's why that's all they got to bring to the table. Because they have no worth other than that. But they didn't bother to learn to do anything else because it isn't required to be with a simp. Now, another story I was going to do, and I haven't gotten around to it, is about a 33-year-old lady that got pregnant by another 16-year-old boy. And she rubbing all over him and hugging him and stuff like that, talking about that's true love. No, it isn't. That's true rebellion against the Most High, as somebody said. Right? And the 16-year-old thing, he living large. And he's going to be living large till that baby come out. And then she gonna make his behind work because he got to pay child support. All right. Remember the last 15-year-old that some woman got to screw him and he had 3 babies by her? What happened to her? After that child support start kicking in. Remember he was working at McDonald's, figured out he couldn't eat because all his money being taken by the woman that whipped him at 16. He whipped him at 15. 15. He was 15. Right? He drove from Texas to California and put a cap in her head. And the judge in California said, well, why did you do it? We don't know why you did it. Yeah, hold on. So these are the same people that if it was the other way around, the man would be in jail for statutory rape. But the woman gets to not only blow his fine at 15, literally, but she gets to collect child support for it. And destroy this man's life. Well, he was a boy at the time it happened. She gets to destroy his life. Right? And so this is the new mode of attack these women are taking. All right? This is the tack that these women are taking. Yes, we used to do that. We didn't need nobody. We didn't need a company to build a house. Yes, people used to help each other build the house. And that's how we got as great. And they came in there, they put the woman at the head and had the women teach the children. It's all about stacking paper. And when the people talk about building up the community, they're not actually talking about building up the community. You see what I mean? They talking about they want you to stop what you're doing, to put your money and resources in their ideas so that they can be in charge. I'm just not going to do that. Period. All right. So this is where we are at as a community. All right. All these big butts and a smile have done nothing but wreck us. And if we look at everything through the geopolitical prism, all right, we have no backing anymore. But wait a minute, you have a lot of dudes and a lot of women pushing for the Republicans, right? But it might be too little too late because we do not have the numbers, and we really don't. We don't have the numbers because of abortion to make any difference right now, split. And we don't have nothing but ignorance and stupidity to vote Democrat. It's best not to vote at all. But if you feel you must vote, I wouldn't vote for the Democrats. Hey, what's up, Killer Taz? All right. And that's where we're at, right? For those of us that follow the commandments and stuff like that, we never needed a king. We need each other, but we don't need no king. Period. We used to help each other out a lot. You know, we used to help each other out. And so that's one of the things that this channel tried to start, right? I want us brothers and sisters to start communicating with each other in a way other than this and other than email. All right. We need to be more important to one another than we are now. I'm glad to have a couple of brothers that I talk to from time to time. Yes, it's scary. Yeah, I do a lot of videos on this and I point this out. Because black women, not counting California, New Hampshire, and Maryland, have murdered 22 million Afro people since 1973. And not counting them, that's 1/4 of the population. If you count California and Maryland and New Hampshire, is a greater percent of the population, maybe a third of the population. You know, And so this is where we at, right? And so basically, so I'm about to shut this down. Y'all can email me at Refuge Temple Nabi, right? It's in the description box. If you care to donate to my channel for what I'm doing in the community, all right, then by all means do so. But hey, what's up, be the great B? But if you decide to donate, always remember you take care of your home, your family, and yourself first. All right. And then if you have some abundance, then donate out of your abundance, right? On this channel, I don't care if you donate or not. I'll move on. But do know this, we do got people on this channel, like the ones that I mentioned, that help support the channel. If that's you, then yes, it'll be most appreciated. If you can't do it, don't. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. You always take care of your home and your family first. If you can't do it, don't worry about it. That's the thing. This channel is about those of us that can picking up the slack for those that can't. Right? I write everybody's name on these soccer balls that I'm taking down that I donate and pass out in the streets in the favelas, right? But I want y'all to understand something. The channel name is written on them first, and then individuals that donated, like anybody that's donated, their name is going to go on the thing. So people that donate a certain amount, some people I just give stuff because they done so much for this channel. If I get an idea, I'm shipping it to them. So one of y'all know who you are. You open the box, it's gonna have an idea. But no, so that's it. So we got some people that donate a lot. We got some that donate a little. We got some that can't donate at all. But what everybody can do is share the videos. So when you look at videos on my channel, please share the videos. That is more important. And share them amongst the brothers and sisters that you know. Because I put out a lot of information that we should know, right? And it's significant. And it helps us make good, balanced decisions. All right. So if you can do that, share the videos. All right. Remember, this isn't one of those channels that's going to get a lot of people, a lot of views or anything. Because we as a people don't like the truth. Right? Not when people put stuff in your face that you have to read, analyze, and go back and look at. All right. And so if you want, now I will say this, if you want the link to the story that the Argentinian woman was telling that brother in Florida, hit me up on the email. I'll send you a copy of it, of the link. All right. So that you can read the whole thing. All right. So, yep, time for real life now. But here's the thing. The women know that you got men that step up in the community and they do everything they can to smash that brother to bits. Right? F the women. Right? You know that some of us men stepped up in the community. Right? We don't need them. Those are the ones we don't need. We got women like you, Bertha. We got sisters like you. All right. So we don't need them. All right. See, they don't realize that there was dudes that stepped up. Remember when I was using all that money that when I was earning money from YouTube and putting black women through college and stuff like that, paying their bills and stuff. They didn't have to go down and sign some paper and show me. They just had to have a need. And now I wasn't dumb enough to give them money for the bills, but I was like, let me see your bill, and paid it. When they got that far behind and stuff was about to get cut off. All right. Yeah, they destroyed that. So when the dude stood up and started stepping up in the community, when the dude was stepping up because he never was down, stepping down, these are the same women that saying y'all need to step up. These are the same women that ruined that guy. You see what I mean? So Afro, who cares what they gotta say? Right? I remember that. I will always remember that. That the money got taken from my channel by black women. All right. And it's been sisters that's been holding this channel up, along with a lot of the brothers. All right. But black women, they keep trolling to thumbs down, to destroy, to take down. This channel been put up, taken down, put up, taken down so many times it's ridiculous. I'm always fighting something on this channel that they're doing. Hey, what's up, beautiful woman of the past? I'm always fighting something that black women are doing. Ask them. I don't give a F what they have to say. Right? But yeah, we do know this, Bertha. They're always saying, we need the man to do that, but the man that is stepping up, they're trying to crush. Why do they do that? Oh, so that they can make this stupid, ludicrous saying. Because they know that there are men that's doing stuff in the community. They just don't like them men. And the thugs ain't going to change because the thugs already know what the game is. The thugs know that the women like it when they go in and out of jail. They go in jail, come back out. The women will fight for the thugs in jail, but won't fight to help the man keep and maintain an organization that is helping the children and the women in the community out. As a matter of fact, they are so destructive to that a brother that was helping women now have to cut them off so that there could be something left for the children. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically it. Wickedness. Wickedness and more wickedness. All right. And the thing that these women don't understand is the brothers are now tired of the wickedness, and as a result of that, we are trying anything we can to change the dynamic that is destroying us, because we know who's doing it. Understand? We know who's doing it, we know how they're doing it, and we know they won't repent. All right? And so we do not deal with unrepentant women, and we sure don't let them take the thunder of our sisters. See, that's one of the problems. I was telling this woman, I seen her. We both have not a class together, but we go to a lot of events and we see each other there. But we had a long discussion, and I was telling her, all right, because at one point she was like, "Yeah, but and you come out under the black women." I was like, "But does that fit you? Does anything about these women fit you?" One, she's married, right? And she was like, "Well, no." I said, "Then why are you identifying with them if they don't fit you?" She thought about that for a minute, right? I said, "Y'all the only people that as a group identify with the people that's causing you the most harm." Brothers be like, "Yo, those are thugs, those are the simps." Are you in? No, I don't get high and all that, so I wouldn't be in that group. See, we acknowledge they exist. Yep, you gotta live the life, right? Men acknowledge that we have different groups. We got dudes that's gangbangers. We don't identify with the gangbangers. We don't. right? But the women identify with other women no matter how evil and wicked they are, and then get mad when people think all women are wicked. But wait a minute, that's a stereotype that they have is because as soon as they say those women are wicked, not like you, then the woman that you just said not like you will jump up to defend the wicked women. And so now the dude is like, oh, wait a minute, she is as wicked as them. Right. And stuff. And so basically, one, y'all sisters need to stop letting black women identify as you. You need to stop letting them try to get you on board with their mess or get you to support them talking about this is a sisterhood. Ain't no such dang thing as a sisterhood. No community can survive as a sisterhood. The reason why brotherhood survive is because brothers know it ain't about just brothers. Brotherhood survive is because brotherhoods are coming to the brotherhood um, as a representative of the family as a whole, meaning women and children. Why is it? Do you think that when, especially Afro men, when we create stuff, it goes for the benefit of the whole community. When women create stuff, it only goes for the benefit of women. All right. And so that's basically it. All right. And so basically, at the end of the day, all right, it's up to us men to change the dynamic. And we need to be men again and not take any kind of BS coming from a woman and not her feelings. Her feelings don't matter. If she can't get with our program, then let her eat dust and burn. Right? Her feelings don't matter. Her feelings, following the woman's feelings, is what's gotten us into this kind of crap and mess anyway. Right? If she wants, um, so if she wants to be the porta potty of the world, then let her be. We don't defend it. We don't let her be with us. And understand, these porta potties are trying to control who stays in office so they can keep getting stuff. All right. These porta potties, all right, when you look at these porta potties have let thugs and everybody else do anything that they want to them. Other women, anything. Other instruments, toys, anything. All right. They're not worthy of us. Not the good Afro men. They can stay with the Arabs that's doing to them what they do in porta potties. They didn't nickname them that for no reason. All right. So I got a couple of brothers that's coming with me to Brazil. All right. Yep. Oh my goodness. Woman of the Past going to come out with her album next. Yep. And so this is basically it, right? Remember, Hillary was a supporter or is a supporter of Margaret Sanger, the founder of one of the founders of eugenics. You know, destruction of the Afro people. And black women was down for a woman, and they knew who Hillary Clinton was. All right, but they didn't care because she was a woman, right? So, like I said, men, at least the men on this channel, we got to stand up. The ones that are sisters, we support our sisters, right? When I'm doing for the community, I'm more careful about who I do for. I'm doing for brothers, and I'm training the children. All right. At the end of the day, all right, we have love for our sisters, and we will know our sisters because they will have love for us. These black women can go to hell in a handbasket. All right. And they could keep letting the Arab and the white men do whatever they want to do with them here in the United States. Because, most of them like to get and marry those dudes that were former and still are guys that were trying to exterminate Afro men. They will marry them up in a minute. Let them. Our job is to leave them alone and only care about the women that care about us. Period. That's it in the story. And we will know they care about us is because these will be the women that will follow our lead. If they don't want to follow our lead, then bam, that's it. So y'all see all these kicking bags I got that's killing my knees because of these little munchkins and stuff. Whew. Man, these children. All right. All these things comes from the effort of people of this channel and me, but it's a breath of fresh air to see some of the times when people donate and stuff like that. It's less that I have to do, but if I'm talking all this crap, I should be the first one doing. See, that's the difference, right? So when I was making money and stuff before people needed to donate, before people were donating and stuff like that, I was doing this stuff because I understood that, and this is something that we as men, Afro men, need to just get right. If we're gonna be about something, then we need to be doers and not just somebody bumping off at the ground talking about what we can do, we need, and what we need to do. I'm saying what we need to do because I was doing it before we needed to do it. What I thought we needed to do, I was doing it. I was already putting it in practice. So when I say what we need to do, when I'm talking about like I know what's really going on, I know what's really going on because I've been doing this, and I know I kind of gauged what is really needed. I kind of can see it because I'm dealing with these children. And I know I can change the lives of a few. And I know I got the support of some of the ones that have fathers. All the ones that have fathers, I got the support of the fathers. Believe that. Unfortunately, most of the fathers are Hispanic. All right. And so this is basically it. Right. So I got a couple brothers going down with me. I think only one could just roll into the favela. Oh, Brother Eli, if you're here, we've been invited to something on the 20th. So, man. Anyway, so just a thought came to me. I'm going back into the favelas. I'm taking these some more balls, and I'm going into a new favela with some friends. You remember the guys from the airport that we was eating pizza with? So they live in the favela by some of the hotels I stay at. So I'm going to meet them, and we're going to go to their favela. Yeah, if you have a passport and a visa. You need a passport and a visa. And so we put up videos on how to do that. But if you would like to go, if y'all would like to go, watch some of my videos on Brazil so you know what you're getting yourself. So you know what's going on down there geopolitically speaking. Okay. And then where I go though, I won't take anybody. I might take one person. Right? All right. I'll have Brother Elijah talk about how to get a visa for Brazil for $49. All right, you could do that online. So so we'll do another video, and then we got another brother by the name of Ben Shermo who kind of listens to this channel from time to time, right? And so he could brush you up on he teaches Portuguese, so Portuguese is going to be good to learn. Oh, $45, right? Wow. And we're going to be staying for 40. This is all fees and stuff for $40 a night. Okay. The most you're going to spend money on is the plane. Okay. Now we could spend a lot less, but for the comfort and where we need it to be, because I have guests, and because I waited too long to do, because we were waiting on a brother to do it, he needed to do. Um, we spend a little bit more than I had cared to, but it's all good because we could have spent like 24 to 30. But hey, we in breakfast every day for 40. Okay, we good. We real good. All right. So this is basically it. All right. So again, all right. So I'm about to be out. So Ben Shapiro, um, he's on Facebook. He's in my Facebook group. So what is my Facebook group's name? Hold on for a second. Okay, my Facebook group's name is Reluctant Nabi Afro Men. Okay, so Ben Shlomo Jeremiah, that's going to be the brother. All right, so he's in the group, right? So he'll teach the Portuguese. All right, so that's the name of the group. All right, he'll teach the Portuguese for people. Oh, and if you want to do some extra stuff like that, he could help arrange that. He could help you plan your trip too. And even if you just want to go to other parts of Brazil, like Salvador Bahia and stuff like that, Sao Paulo, he can help you with that. All right. So he's from there. He lived there, and he's lived other places though. He is from there. He's good with English because he spent some time in the United States. All right. So that's the name of this brother. All right. So his name is BENSH. Hold on. There we go. All right. This is him. All right. So with that said, people, I'm out. Thank you all for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. For those of you that want to help out this channel, my PayPal me will be in the description box along with my email. Remember, you take care of yourself and your family first. Take care of yourself and family first. All right. See you later, woman of the past. See you later, Bertha. See you later, all the rest of you brothers. All right. Peace, love, and soul. I'm out. And thank y'all for watching.